Okay then, so with today's Retrobat setup guide, we are checking out the awesome Sega Mega Drive 16-bit console, or Sega Genesis that is. So I'm going to be showing you different display settings, which game files we need in order to run Mega Drive or Genesis games through Retrobat. I'm even going to go as far as showing you how to use cheats in this system. So anyway, this is Mega Drive, Genesis for Retrobat. Check this one out. Okay, before I start today's Retrobat in Sega Mega Drive or Sega Genesis setup guide, if you like what you see today, hit notifications, subscribe and like so you don't miss upcoming retro emulation content. Helps my channel out a lot, plus you get notified every time I release a setup guide like this one today. So we're checking out Retrobat and how to add Sega Mega Drive today, plus I'm going to be showing you a few extra little features which you might not be aware of. So what we're going to do first of all is just go to your Retrobat shortcut, just right click on that and just go down to open file location. This is the easiest way to get into your Retrobat directory. So what we're going to do is just head down to the ROMs folder, and in here we're going to find Mega Drive. So for people out there who calls this Genesis, we don't actually have a Genesis folder, so we do have to have Mega Drive just here. And I've got some games in my folder for Mega Drive, and these are in .zip file extension and they work absolutely fine. So I've just dragged and dropped those inside. Now if we go inside of these zip folders, these are actually .mds. So if you don't have your games in a zip folder and you've just got them like this, that's also fine too. So what we're going to do next then is actually open up Retrobat. Okay, so we're now inside a Retrobat, and what we're going to do is just find the Mega Drive logo. Here's my games, it says underneath Games Free. If we just go inside of here, here's my games, Earthworm Jim, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Awesome Terminator game. Let's just scrape some artwork before we go any further. So if I press Start on my controller, this brings up your main menu. If we just go down to Scraper by using D-pad or your cursor down on your keyboard, press A to go into Scraper. And first of all, just make sure Screen Scraper is selected under Scrape From. You've got several different scraping databases here, but Screen Scraper generally works the best out of these. And if I just go down to Scraper Settings by pressing A to enter into this, what I'm going to do first is just press up on my D-pad and go to username and password. Now, if you haven't signed up for free with Screen Scraper, go and do it now, otherwise this isn't going to work. Once you've got your username and password, just pop it in. Now let's just go through the scraping settings. So first of all, under image source, I always recommend Box 3D for the best effect for Retrobat. And I'm going to leave Box Source to Box 2D. Logo Source, I'm going to just drop this down to Marquee. And under preferred region, we've got different regions, of course, of Mega Drive games, Genesis games. Generally, this is best set to auto. If there's a particular game that's, say, Japanese, then obviously put this to Japanese. And what I'm going to do is just go down and enable fan art. What fan art does is if Scraper can't find official artwork, then fan art will scrape. So it's better than having an empty space in your Mega Drive or Genesis collection. I'm also going to go down to map and just select this one, enable it rather, and go down, press back. Okay, so we've now got our artwork, but as you can see, this is stretched and it doesn't look right. So if we just come out of here, what I'm going to do is just press start to bring up main menu. And from here, if we just drop down to user interface settings, as we can see, I'm using the default ES theme carbon master theme. This is emulationstation theme. What I'm going to do is just drop down to theme configuration, and under game list view style, I'm going to just drop this down to game carousel. And if I press B to come out and go back into Mega Drive, we can now see things a little bit better. And you can also do this by going to theme configuration And game list view style, let's just select carousel. And here we go. So that's that problem sorted out. Next thing, if we press select on your controller, view options. If we go down to advanced system options, emulator, I highly recommend leaving this to auto, which is going to select Libretto Genesis plus GX, which I think is probably the best on here to power your Mega Drive games. So Libretto is RetroArch, and RetroArch pretty much powers around 85, 90, probably 95% of systems through Retrobat. So just make sure that's set to auto. Now we got other options here such as shader set, but I'm going to go through these in a minute with you. First of all, let's actually open up the game and see if this is all working. You can exit out your game very easily by pressing your hotkeys. Now, if you're new to Retrobat and you're not sure what hotkeys are, then I seriously urge you to watch my version 6 Retrobat setup guide, and that will get you everything that you need so you know what's what. Now, if we go to view options again, advanced system options, what we're going to do next is just drop down to shader set, and just here we can actually change how the games look. So one of my favorites in particular is curvature. This is going to make our game look like an old CRT TV. But in able to get the full effect on this, we also need to go to decorations and just make sure that default unglaze is off. As you've seen a minute ago, we had the Mega Drive or Sega Genesis borders on the sides. If we just turn this to none, and what we're going to do is just go into another game. So let's select Sonic 3. Okay, so let's just exit out once again. And what I'm going to do next is show you how to actually turn this into full screen. So again, view options by pressing select, advanced system options, game aspect ratio. By auto, this is of course selecting 4:3 aspect ratio, which is the correct aspect ratio for Mega Drive games. If we go to the bottom of game aspect ratio and put this onto full, if we open up the game again, and if you're not aware, we can actually use cheats inside a Retrobat. So what I'm going to do is enter into my RetroArch quick menu, because we're after all using a retro core. I'm going to press F1 on my keyboard to access the quick menu. If I press B on my controller to come out, go down to Online Updater and just drop down until you see Update Cheats. Just let this download in extract like it's doing right now. And whilst we're waiting for this to extract, which can take some time, if I press B to come out, quick menu, press A on that to enter, we can actually save and load games here. So if I go to save states, at the top you'll find state slot and it says 0. If I press A to go in here, we've got around 1,000 different state slots. If I just select say 1 and I go down to save state by pressing A, and if I go back into the RetroArch quick menu and drop down to load state, press A, and as you can see, that's now loaded back where I just saved it from. So we're just going to wait for the cheats to extract, and I'm going to show you how to apply cheats to your Sega Mega Drive or Sega Genesis games. Okay, so they've now finished extracting. So what we're going to do to enable cheats is just press B to come out of there, quick menu by pressing A, and if we just scroll down, we're going to find cheats. If we press A to go inside of here, first thing I'm going to do is just go down to Notes Cheat File Append, press A to enter into this, and you're going to find a list of different systems. We're going to just scroll down until we find Sega Mega Drive. Here we go, Sega Mega Drive Genesis. If I press A to enter in here, you're going to find lots of different cheat files. So I'm going to look for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. If I just scroll down, and here we go, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and we got two here. We got Action Replay World, and we also got Sonic the Hedgehog 3 USA. If I select Sonic the Hedgehog USA by pressing A, what we're going to do then is just scroll down, and I'm going to apply after toggle, press A. And if we scroll down a bit further, we can now see all of our cheats. So we can enable these really easy by pressing A to go in each cheat, and just dropping down one to enabled and pressing A to enable it. And we can go down to invincibility, just make sure these are enabled. And you can select as many of these as you want. So what we need to do then, once you've done this, is just go to auto apply cheats during game load. If I enable this, and I'll just go down to apply changes by pressing A. So if I just go down to restart from here, and as you can see, I'm bumping into the enemy, and Sonic is now pretty much invincible. And you also notice that Sonic has now got super speed. And that's it for today's Retrobat Sega Mega Drive or Sega Genesis setup guide. So if you like what you see today, hit notifications, subscribe and like so you don't miss upcoming retro emulation content. You get notified each time I release a new setup guide, which is every day virtually. Also be sure to check out my playlists, and if you're really interested in Retrobat, I have around 130 different individual setup guides at this point. So if you're looking for a particular setup guide for Retrobat, more than likely I've covered it, but do check out that playlist. Also join me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. But until next time, stay retro.